Hi, I'm Jose Gutierrez, and in our presentation, we'll be discussing feminist family theory, which is influenced by feminist movement in the United States. It is important to remember that feminist theory is a broad and diverse body of thought that emerged from the feminist movement and aims to understand and challenge the social, political, and economic inequalities between genders, and it encompasses a range of perspectives and approaches. But at its um, core, feminist theory seeks to analyze and transform the power dynamics and structures that perpetuate gender-based oppression and discrimination. Um, um, a brief history of the feminist movement starts with the first wave and is centered around women's desire to vote. There are many people who have influenced the theory, but we share three, one for each wave. During this first wave, Margaret Mead introduced the idea that gender is a socially constructed. This becomes one of the assumptions of the theory, and we will talk more about it later. The second wave focused on women's desire for equality in the home and in society. Women are feeling like a second-class citizens. Jesse Bernard suggests that within the marriage, there exists his marriage and her marriage, resulting in his experiences within the marriage being better than hers. The third wave of feminism, which we are still a part of today, is influenced by Kimberly Crenshaw, who introduced intersectionality. Intersectionality evaluates the influence of oppression not only based off gender, but how it's influenced by race, class, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, and physical ability, meaning that you can have privilege in one of these areas and face oppression in another at the same time. There are 6 assumptions for the theory, and we will cover 3. Each assumption will have a related question that we want to discuss with you this week in the discussion board. In this clip from the show Friends, we will see Ross struggling with the idea of his son playing with a doll. This illustrates the assumption of how gender is a socially constructed concept.
Here's my boy, and here's his Barbie. What's my boy doing with the Barbie?
He picked it out at the toy store himself. He loves it. He carries it everywhere. It's like a security blanket, but with ski boots and a kicky beret.
Yeah, it's cute. Why does he have it again?
So it's got a doll, so what? Unless you're afraid he's gonna grow up to be in show business.
This wouldn't have anything to do with the fact that he's been raised by 2 women, would it?
You know what? It's fine. If you're okay with the Barbie thing, so am I. Give Daddy the Barbie. Give Daddy the Barbie. Okay, how about, don't you want to play with a monster truck? No? Okay. Ooh, how about a dino soldier?
Ross, you are so pathetic. Why can't your son just play with his doll?
Okay. The theory suggests that as a society we have put labels on what boys do and what girls do. These genders behaviors can look different within other culture contexts.
The second assumption we will cover is social and historical contexts are important. Throughout history, the expectations of who a woman was, what she does, and her worth were based off societal expectations of the time. The second assumption, societal and historical contexts are important, gives insights to women's roles through the lens of how men and women are viewed during that period of time. We will see Jo's inner turmoil influenced by her society's views of women in this clip from Little Woman.
I just feel like women, they have minds and they have souls as well as just hearts, and they've got ambition and they've got talent as well as just beauty. And I'm so sick of people saying that love is just all a woman is fit for. I'm so sick of it. It's so lonely.
We can see that to understand Jo's role in her family and to understand her loneliness, we have to know the context of her role in society. Next, emphasis is placed on social change as demonstrated in this clip from the movie Hidden Figures.
We think we are rendering a great service to our nation. For this is not a struggle for ourselves alone. It is a struggle to save the soul of America.
Mary Jackson, petition to attend courses at Hampton High School. Good morning, Your Honor.
Hampton High School is a white school, Mrs. Jackson.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm aware of it.
Virginia, still a segregated state, regardless of what the federal government says, regardless of what the Supreme Court says, our law is the law.
Your Honor, if I may, I believe there are special circumstances to be considered.
What would warrant a colored woman attending a white school?
May I approach your bench, sir? Your Honor, you of all people should understand the importance of being first.
How's that, Mrs. Jackson?
Well, you were the first in your family to serve in the armed forces, U.S. Navy, the first to attend university, George Mason, and the first state judge to be recommissioned by 3 consecutive governors.
You've done some research.
Yes, sir.
What's the point?
The point is, Your Honor, no Negro woman in the state of Virginia has ever attended an all-white high school. It's unheard of.
Yeah. Unheard of.
And before Alan Shepard sat on top of a rocket, no other American had ever touched space. And now he will forever be remembered as the U.S. Navy man from New Hampshire, the first to touch the stars. And I, sir, I plan on being an engineer at NASA. But I can't do that without taking them classes at that all-white high school. And I can't change the color of my skin. So I have no choice but to be the first, which I can't do without you, sir. Your Honor, out of all the cases you're gonna hear today, Which one is going to matter 100 years from now? Which one is going to make you the first?
The 9 classes. Mrs. Jackson.
Within the conflict paradigm, those who have something the have-nots want is only resolved with the fight for change. Mary Jackson illustrates this with her challenging the social systems to receive the education she needs to qualify for promotion in the workforce. She also recognizes that this change being made to allow her to attend these classes at the all-white school are changes that will be for the benefit of society. The theory suggests that a change in society's views needs to happen to change, for change to take place within the home. We will cover 2 of the critiques of the theory. First, as suggested by the photo, men and women are divided. In the textbook, it is suggested that what affects women in the family also affects men, but an extreme focus on one party of people leaves others who are not part of that party feeling left out of social change. In the context of the theory, it is men who feel that with the focus on policy change for women, they are being oppressed. A second critique of the theory is not blurred lines, but the blurred lines that happen between researchers and advocacy. The theory, anchored in change, brings the possibility of bias, and social scientists want to advocate for the needs of women based off the results of their research. The question is asked, are the lines of objectivity being crossed? In conclusion, we want to ask you the same question. Are the lines of objectivity being crossed when social scientists advocate for the change based on their research? We hope to have a good conversation with you based off the questions in the presentation. Thank you.